Struggling with mental health or confused by the system? With over 2 decades in psychiatry and mental health, I'm here to break it down, bust myths, and bring hope. Let's talk mental health. Real, honest, and empowering.
Hello, Clarity family, and welcome to another episode of ADHD. Well, if you missed the last two, you probably want to go back and watch them. Today, we will be talking about ADHD and relationships. My name is Dr. Mary O'Para, and welcome to the Mental Clarity Program. I'm so glad you're here. So how does ADHD impact relationships? And how do we fix it? That's what we're here to discuss today. So do you feel like every small argument with your partner turns into a huge fight? Or maybe your partner tells you, you don't listen, even when you feel like you do. You might not realize it, but ADHD could be affecting your relationship. And it could be affecting it in ways that you never even imagined. So in this video, I'll break down exactly what's happening and what you can do about it. Does your partner say you don't listen? You forget things, or you seem distant most of the times. But meanwhile, you're trying to do your best. So it might not be that you're not interested. It could only just be that you have ADHD. ADHD doesn't mean broken relationships. It means relationships must have better understanding, structure, and compassion with one another. It needs to have these for it to work. So I'm just going to give you a short story before we start. I know someone who didn't care that his wife packed up and left him, only because his ADHD was on a different level. Yeah, his ADHD was wild. It was too much for both of them. And he felt like all she did was nag, nag, nag. Yell, yell, yell. So, but meanwhile, he's lost 3 jobs in the time they've been together. He'll go out to take the trash and talk to a neighbor for an hour and then forget to even do the trash that he went out to do. He will leave dishes all over the house, forget to pick them up and wash it or put it in the sink. He'll forget to pick up their child from school many times. Interrupts every conversation that they're having, doesn't listen. And with everything going on, he refuses to get help. And he'll always tell her, well, this is how I was born. Why did you marry me if you didn't accept the way I am? And now you want to put me on poison. So she packed up and left. It was too much for her. After 10 years, she couldn't do it anymore. Have you ever felt that your partner's small mistakes feel like a personal attack? Well, let's discuss some of the issues that could go on. Let's discuss emotional regulation challenges, because ADHD doesn't just affect focus. It affects that connection that you have. People with ADHD often feel emotions. They feel those emotions so intently, and they could pass quickly. And it can be a little frustrating. Frustrating for the person it's affecting and frustrating for the partner. And sometimes they do feel overwhelmed over a little disagreement. For example, honey, can you do the laundry? Then he says, I just walked into the house from working all day, and here you go. And the partner says, I didn't mean, honey, I didn't mean do it now. I'm just trying to remind you so that you can do it later. And then he says, but you just told me now. And then she says, never mind. I'll never ask you again to do laundry. And it goes on and on. Then there's that feeling of rejection. And this we call rejection sensitivity. And then the husband starts to boil up, and then he has a trouble calming down his emotions because of that conflict that they have. So that's why I'm saying that ADHD doesn't just affect the focus, it affects the connection. People with ADHD feel emotions deeply and they quickly react. But when they do react, they struggle to calm themselves down after those arguments or fights. People with ADHD might forget to plan, they might lose track of time, seem distracted a lot. Not because they don't care, but because their brain is wired. It's wired differently for attention and for their memory. So this can make partners feel unheard, unloved, when really all it is the ADHD brain. It's overwhelmed, not uncaring. I repeat, not uncaring. Some partners might see it as mood swings, but really the person's brain is struggling to regulate the emotions, to regulate their emotions. They're trying to process their emotions and know what to do with it, how to feel, how to act. So what brings about communication struggles? Attention and focus gaps. Example, forgetting important dates. Husband says, "Honey, get ready for the wedding so that we can go on time." Wife goes, "What wedding?" Husband goes, "It's been on the calendar for 2 months and I've reminded you about it every week." And she says to him, "Well, you should have reminded me again. I have nothing to wear." Problems. Fights start. More attention, focused gaps could also be things with missed tasks, disorganization, procrastination to do things. Example, paying bills late, lights get turned off, starting a chore at home and then leaving it unfinished. Instead of arguing, try saying, "Babe, it's not intentional." Because he's going to tell you, "It's a neurobiological issue. I'm not doing this on purpose. And I'm not trying to make excuses." And truly, not. He or her are not trying to make excuses. The brain just zones out sometimes. It drifts off in conversations, or the person interrupts without knowing it. So, for instance, your wife comes home and is telling you how rude her boss was to her today and how hurt her feelings is with it. And you turn around and say to her, "Honey, what's for dinner?" What? What was said? Missing emotional cues, talking impulsively. Or over-talking someone. Someone is trying to talk and your voice sounds louder and louder over what they're saying. This can make your loved one feel ignored or even dismissed sometimes, even though that is not the intention, but that's how it would feel. That's how it would seem. And then there's time management and forgetfulness, missing dates, chores or commitments. Then there's a chronic lateness. Husband says, "Are you ready to leave to go visit our sick friend that we talked about, Jill?" And she says, "What's the rush? I have to finish my makeup. Can we leave at 7 instead of 5? I have to curl my hair." Another fight. Difficulty following routines. "Did you forget to do laundry again?" Another fight. It might seem like carelessness or lack of love, but not at all. The brain is struggling with executive function, with planning, with remembering to do things. And then after a while, one of the partners feel like, "I'm taking on too much. This responsibility in this house is too much for me. It's an uneven load. I just feel burdened." And the person who's making you or telling you to do these things ends up feeling like am I your mother? Am I your organizer? And then for the person on the receiving end, it's not a good way to feel. And this dynamic can lead to resentment, shame, burnout on both sides, unless you get used to openly discussing and managing things. Another thing that causes problems is hyperfocus and then burnout. At the beginning of a relationship, ADHD individuals seem to hyperfocus and they're able to give that much intense love, attention, give you all that energy that you want. But when that focus naturally shifts a little bit, the partner might feel there's a sudden emotional drop here, there's something going on here, and then starts wondering what happened. And I must tell you right now, it's not a lack of love, it's how attention regulation in the ADHD minds fluctuates. It's different. It does that. There's rejection sensitivity and miscommunication with the ADHD person. And when you make them feel criticized, they feel rejected. Even small comments feel amplified, like blown out of proportion. Give an example, your partner forgets to text you at work, but she normally does all the time. Your brain might react as, oh my gosh, is she leaving me? No, she just had a crazy busy day and could not get to text you, that's all. So these things, when managed well, with awareness and with support, ADHD partners can be creative problem solvers. They can be loyal. They can be deeply empathetic. They can be energetic. They can be spontaneous. They can be caring. And it could be a healthy relationship, but it takes both partners to understand that the ADHD brain of your partner has something going on with it. Don't stop blaming. Stop blaming. It's not intentional. Nobody's out to get anybody. So, good thing there's treatment and support and help for people who will agree to get the help. Medications do help you with that focus. It does help you regulate better. Then there's therapy and there's ADHD coaching and communication. There's some therapists that actually focus on ADHD and they will give you all the skills that you need. Couples therapy is sometimes needed because when we get to that place, or you don't want to get to that place, it will teach you how to handle conflicts, divide the tasks, and reduce the shaming. But here's the good news about everything. Awareness changes everything. Medication is good, therapy is good. When you learn to structure, couples can rebuild and could have a better understanding. So ADHD partners are often the most creative, they're loving, and they're passionate people. They just need the tools, the right tools that match their brain. So here's where I come in. I will be providing those tools soon. So if you or your partner have ADHD, remember, don't feel it's disconnection, it's not. It's just that the brain is wired differently. You can learn to love through it and not fight against it. So here are some tips for the partners. Be patient. Learn structured communication. Let your expectations of your partner be realistic, since you know what's going on with the brain. The brain never changes, but both partners can learn to manage the partner's ADHD effectively. So here are some strategies that you can use. You can use tools like calendars, reminders, shared apps, calendars, organizers that both of you can see. Clear communication. I feel statements, not blame. Understand emotional triggers. Recognize rejection and the sensitivity that other person might have. Miscommunication. And learn to manage and not to expect too much. There's therapy and coaching. There's individual therapy, like I said. There's couples therapy. That helps a lot with ADHD relationships. There's also self-awareness and reflection. Sometimes the ADHD patients, I tell them to journal their symptoms, triggers, and patterns, especially if they're having a rough time in their relationship. So if this relates to you or someone you know, leave a comment, share this with them. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe, and ring the notification bell. And share with all you know. In my ADHD episodes, this has been an ongoing. The next video will be about ADHD in teenagers and how it shows up, because it shows up a little differently in teens and what the parents need to know. So stay tuned for that. I will be making available some tools, like I said, that will help couples deal with ADHD, and I'll keep you posted on this, okay, when it's out. So stay tuned, and so that you'll know when that happens. Oh, it's been great sharing all this with you. Please take good care of yourself. take care of your heart as well. And remember, I care for you and I love you. Bye for now.
Thanks for spending time with me, Dr. Mary Opara. Don't miss next Friday for another powerful session. Until then, like, share, and subscribe to keep the conversation going. See you soon.